In 2021, an oversmart Karen refused to wear a mask at Nordstrom Rack near Austin, Texas. She then pushed past an employee.
And she kept pushing, and so I put my arm out to block her from my entrance, and then she shoved me.
When police arrived, Bell, who was running to be on the lake, Travis Independent School District Board made it as difficult for the officers as possible. Eventually, they forced her outside, where she ranted about being mask exempt, refused to identify herself, and called herself a woman of God.
Situation worse.
No, you are. By not following the law. First of all, I don't have to identify myself.
Yes, you do.
I am a woman of God. I will not have it. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of being lied to, and it's not going to happen anymore. Do you understand?
That was a rude attitude, just like the next Karen, where the girlfriend thought that her boyfriend was above the law. On February 25th, 2022, the police got a call about a possible drunk driver hanging around near a bar. When the officers showed up, they discovered a guy slumped in the driver's seat of a running car, his foot still on the gas. The car was in park, but if it hadn't been, it could have crashed right into oncoming traffic. It was a risky situation, so the officers jumped into action. The man, obviously under the influence, confessed to drinking and smoking earlier. Given how he looked, it was clear he shouldn't be behind the wheel, so they cuffed him while they checked out the car. That's when his girlfriend, Kara Fuller, came out of the bar and saw the search. She got really angry, shouting at the cops and claiming they had no right to be there. Even when they tried to explain things, she wouldn't settle down and just got more worked up. While they were searching, the officers discovered some marijuana and pill bottles in the vehicle.
You want to take your marijuana?
My marijuana?
Yeah. Because there's
you arrested him!
Yeah, and there's marijuana in the car.
Go ahead, slap me with the ticket because it's decriminalized in the state of Iowa.
Kara fought back and ended up kicking an officer right in the head. She ended up being held down and taken into custody, facing charges of obstructing justice, resisting arrest, and being disorderly. The guy was sent back home, but not before leaving a total mess behind. What started as a simple welfare check spiraled into a wild night filled with arrests and drugs. If you think that was wild, well, let's see how quickly a situation can spiral out of control when emotions run high. On the night of June 9th, 2022, cops in Hinsdale, Illinois, showed up to take Sean Malarkey into custody for a domestic battery warrant. She was alleged to have struck her ex-husband with her car while under the influence, and her child was in the back seat at the time. This wasn't her first encounter with the police. It was actually her third offense, and it was a serious, aggravated DUI. When the officers discovered her parked in her garage, they approached with caution. Sean wasn't having it from the get-go, staying put in her car and arguing while they asked her to get out. When the officers attempted to take her into custody, Sean started kicking, yelling, and hurling insults. Even after they put the cuffs on her, she kept going. She called the officers the worst part of society and threatened to sue, insisting they were treating her badly. She tried to call her lawyer with her Apple Watch, but the call didn't go through, which just added to her annoyance. Ultimately, Sean ended up facing charges for felony aggravated DUI and resisting arrest. She took a plea deal and ended up with a year of probation, 10 days in jail, and a $6,000 fine. It might seem fun to mess with the cops at first, but it always leads to the same outcome: spending time in jail. The next person takes us on a truly wild and dangerous ride. In early December 2021, police got several calls about a blue car zooming recklessly down a highway in New Mexico. When an officer tried to pull the car over, the driver took off before he could even get close, prompting him to call in the license plate. A short while later, he found the car parked at a gas station. What happened next was chaotic. The driver, Jaime Granger, wouldn't cooperate at first, insisting she hadn't done anything wrong. Even with her protests, she was taken into custody, confirming she was the one driving. Jaime's defiance ramped up fast. She yelled, pleaded to call her boyfriend, and kept denying that she had run from the earlier stop.
I didn't do anything!
Okay.
I did not do anything!
Okay.
Please let me go! I just want to call my boyfriend, please!
You're not calling anybody. The only place that you're going to go is to the jail.
While the officer tried to soothe her, she confessed to having a few drinks, but insisted it was just a little. When the officers checked her car, they discovered 2 open vodka bottles right by the driver's seat, which backed up their concerns. Jaime reacted aggressively, kicking one of the officers in the chest and even throwing out false accusations of sexual assault. Her actions led to additional charges of battery and resisting arrest. Jaime eventually admitted guilt to aggravated DWI and 2 counts of battery against a police officer. What started as some wild speeding turned into a crazy situation for the officers on the scene. If you thought that was dramatic, the next scene unfolds on a plane, where the next Karen's confrontation soars to new disruptive heights.
Get off me! You Go back to China!
Slide over there.
On December 31st, 2021, Jacqueline Fleury stirred up trouble at an airport by refusing to take her assigned seat on a flight. This led to everyone on the plane being asked to get off, and things escalated when the officers showed up. Jacqueline pointed fingers at the airline, claiming they messed up her ticket and stuck her in a middle seat instead of the aisle seat she wanted. She demanded compensation and was uncooperative with everyone around her. The officers tried to keep things calm, but Jacqueline just got louder. She insisted she wasn't to blame and wouldn't leave the airport, saying she didn't live in Utah and had nowhere to go. When they attempted to escort her out, she resisted, arguing with the officers and accusing them of being unfair. Things escalated when Jacqueline kicked one of the officers. Even as they placed her in handcuffs, she continued shouting and resisting, making the entire process much harder than it needed to be. Jacqueline ended up in jail, facing charges of disorderly conduct, assaulting a police officer, and resisting arrest. Although 2 of the charges were dropped, she ended up pleading guilty to assault, which escalated a simple seating issue into a major legal mess. But while some people find themselves tangled in the law for minor confrontations, others are in even deeper trouble behind bars, where the lines between authority and misconduct blur in shocking ways. If you think this was wild, just wait until you see what happened with female cops and inmates. You won't believe what we uncovered in the next video.